Not too far away. Hello, everybody. This is Todd from the Table Ready podcast, and I actually have a special guest today. This is Logan. He is our resident Blood Angels and Tyranid players. So today we're going to do a special edition of Combat Patrol to Crusade, and wherein we're going to do the two armies that were involved in the devastation of Baal, which would be
the Tyranids and the Blood Angels.
Okay. So, Logan, before we get started, is there anywhere that they can watch you if they wanted to see you on YouTube?
I'm on Lakeland Legends. I am the DM in one campaign, and I am a player in another.
All right, and that's on YouTube, and how often do you post?
Weekly.
Weekly.
It switches campaign by campaign, if you care.
Okay. So, if you want to check out him playing D&D, which I just happen to be on there too, in case you were wondering. So we can do that. You can do that. Excuse me. So we decided, since he's the Blood Angel player, he's going to jump on here and help me out. He was also our third place winner on the contest by luck.
Oh, yes.
So he got a free hour of talking with me, but actually I twisted him a little bit, and instead of him getting a free hour from me, I'm going to steal an hour from him. So we are going to talk about the devastation of Baal, at least in the Crusade form. Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Blood Angels. And actually, before we do that, we were talking a little bit this morning about the Adepticon previews.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to look at any of those?
I looked at a little bit. I know there's a new character for the Death Guard and the World Eaters, and there's some weird mech bird things.
So there's new robots for the Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
And of course, they showed a ton of Age of Sigmar models. Most of them I am not incredibly familiar with, so if you want, check them out. But the other things that was really interesting were the new Grey Knights. There were new Grey Knight models, including a new Dread Knight, which is just amazing looking, if you ask me. The fact that they're going to have different weapon options is also a definite bonus. Oh yeah, the new one, if you haven't seen it, he is far meatier than the old one. I don't know if you're not really all that familiar with Grey Knights, though, so...
I mean, I've looked at the old one. He hasn't shocked me or wowed me in any way.
I think the new one's more impressive. You'll have to check them out after we get done with this. And then, of course, for anybody that is a Space Wolf player, there are tons of new Space Wolf models, including a new Wolf Priest, new battle leader, Wolfpack Battle Leader, excuse me, couldn't think of the name. There is also the new Grey Hunters and new Blood Claws, and I think that was about it. Oh, the Headhunters, which actually look really cool. They're 3 guys with 3 dogs. It's a mixed squad.
They got like the Blood Claws, and I thought they got another infantry guy.
Yeah, the Grey Hunters.
Oh yeah, but. Oh, yeah, and
then the Headhunters. There were 3 different ones.
Honestly, I did not get that much information. I did, one search this morning. I'm like, what did the World Eaters get? Because I've kind of been interested in them.
Right. So, yeah, so if you get a chance, go take a look at those pictures. I'm not going to share them here because, a quick Google search, you can come up with all these almost instantly. So back to the devastation of Baal.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to do, we wanted to start with the Combat Patrol.
Yes.
Because that's the most accessible way to get into 40K. At this point, you can buy 1 box set. You can start playing the game. All the rules are online. So that really helps anybody that is interested in playing. And then we're going to bump that up because, here at Table Ready Podcast, we're big fans of getting into the Crusade and playing narrative games and stuff like that. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna break down that Combat Patrol and tell you how many points are in there, and then Logan and I are both gonna have our views of what we would do to upgrade that to a playable Crusade force.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think so.
So to start off with, the Blood Angel Combat Patrol, as it stands right now, is a Blood Angel's captain. He's on foot. He does have a couple weapon options in the box set. And I'm not real strict to sticking with that specific option. I know he wants to put a Power Fist on his. Even with my Dark Angels one, I swapped out the chain sword for the power sword because it's so much better, and because it's a better weapon overall. And we're going to be playing Crusade, so we want it more of our take on it.
Yeah, and the power sword's kind of just like the chain sword, but better.
Yeah.
Like, take a hit off.
Right. The next thing that is in there is the Assault Intercessor Squad.
Yeah.
That's a 10-man squad. Most likely you're going to put that captain right in there with that Assault Intercessor Squad, I would think.
Yeah.
Especially since in the Combat Patrol, the only other option in there is your either 2 3-man Sanguinary squads, or you can do a 6-man squad, depending on how you want to roll it out.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to do your take first?
Yeah. Now, I don't have this Combat Patrol yet, but I do plan to get it, since it finally seems to be in stock. Plan to go pick it up.
Right.
So, my take is my characters are Blood Angel's captain and a chaplain with a jump pack.
Okay.
The captain obviously comes in the Combat Patrol, and the chaplain is extra. 10 Assault Intercessors from the box.
Just the regular intercessors, right?
Yeah.
The 10 Assault Intercessors.
I'm thinking 5 basic intercessors.
Okay.
I'll get back to that. So I'm also thinking of running the chaplain with the jump pack with Death Company Marines with jump packs.
Oh, there you go.
Why I picked that? Because it gives you a lot of Blood Angels variety. So you know when you put that on the table, everyone knows you're playing Blood Angels.
Fair enough.
Then I put 10 Infernus Marines, and 2 sets of Sanguinary Guard.
Those are the 2 out of the Combat Patrol, not two more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that leads to 955, which gives you like 45 for enhancements and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, the reason why I put units like that on was because...
the next question.
The Combat Patrol seems very front heavy.
Okay.
But with no backing to it.
Okay.
So, I was thinking Intercessors, they make a good backline. And Furnace Marines, they're really good at holding objectives. 2 things that you kind of need.
Right.
Now, the only thing that I wouldn't say is huge is you don't get a vehicle or monster.
Okay.
Which, that's to consider. And you don't get and you only get 2 squads of backline.
So you would use your Intercessors and your Infernus Marines basically to capture and hold objectives, while your Sanguinary Guard and your Assault Intercessors move forward and...
effectively, they push and kill.
Okay. And try to get the opponent's objectives. Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
That's a pretty standard. And out of curiosity, do you have a detachment that you would use with that? Do you have a preference?
I'd probably say Liberator Assault Force, because that just takes all your front-heavy guys and lets them push forward further. When they get hit,
right.
I'm thinking, what's bad about that for a melee-heavy push?
Right. Fair enough. And would you run your 2 Sanguinary squads as one squad, or 2 separate ones?
Like 2 separate, because you can spread out.
Okay.
You can take one guy, send him that way, take another, send him that way, and they go in and 2 squads take a lot of damage. So they're effectively, they're very tanky.
Right.
Between their 3 wounds, 4 up invuln save, and 12 movement speed, they fly ahead and stab.
Very true. Now, the question that everybody that's watching is going to ask, swords or spears?
I like
Or how would you mix them up if you would mix them up?
I kind of like the swords a little more. A lot more consistent. They're better. Like, if you took off the extra little rules, they're an extra attack and a better AP by 1.
Right.
Put on the rules, you get the lance. The spear gets the lance. It's worse, but it has the lance.
And what does the lance do?
I think it's a +1 to wound if you charged.
Okay.
That turn.
So on the turn that you charge, they'd be very effective.
But after that, no. And if they get charged, no.
Right. So you're looking for the swords for the consistency. That makes sense.
So you might want to put a spear on one of the guys so he can have the little banner.
Fair enough.
Which ups their objective control.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before I give you my list?
I mean, no.
Okay. So just to give my rundown on the list, and of course I'm going to just recap for anybody that just might be coming on. My Blood Angels take would be a little bit different, but not a lot different actually. I actually wanted to go with now I could go with either the Sanguinary Host or go with the Liberator Task Force. I think either one would work great in my choice here. It doesn't really matter. It kind of depends on how you want to play your shenanigans. I wrote it up as a Sanguinary Host. And then I went with the Blood Angels captain, and he's going to go with those 10 assault intercessors as you run them on the battlefield. And then, of course, I would stick with the 2 3-man squads in most cases.
Yeah.
Just because at 1,000 points, you really need the separation, the units to go here, go there. The reason I keep the 10-man assault intercessors instead of breaking them up into 5-man squads is because they're basically with that leader, and you want them to get the most out of being with that leader. The unfortunate part was I would like to say the 6-man sanguinary squad would be the better choice. But the only option you have for that is they have to be with a captain with a jump pack, and I really didn't want to run 2 captains in that.
Yeah.
So what I did was, to lean into that Sanguinary Host, I picked 5 Assault Marines with jump packs.
Yeah.
Or Assault Intercessors with jump packs. And then I was going to throw a Chaplain in with them, because I think that would be a good buff. So now you've got 2 good heavy-hitting melee squads, plus you have the 2 smaller 3-man squads to lean into.
Yeah.
Moving around. Now, for my back line, I actually chose different. And I chose the Redemptor Dreadnought because he could kind of stand on back objective, and he's kind of impressive enough that nobody really wants to mess with him unless they're ready to mess with a Redemptor Dreadnought. And I think he's a solid enough block in the back end to kind of keep that. The other thing that I wanted to go with is just because it's a Blood Angels army, I really wanted to lean into that Baal Predator. And again, this is one of those things where I'm a big fan of the twin-linked assault cannon for the Predator. I know people love the Flamer variety, but whatever you want to run with, it's a good solid tank. It's going to move around and shoot stuff. And I only picked the Baal Predator over the regular Predator because I think the Baal Predator really yells, "This is a Blood Angels army."
Yeah, just kind of like how my Death Company do.
Right, just like the Death Company. And I didn't want to lean into Death Company without committing to Death Company. And I don't think there's enough room in those, 510 points that we could do to really make Death Company work.
I mean,
So
yeah, they're kind of expensive units because they're more pricey, but they are better if you can run them with a chaplain.
Correct.
Without a chaplain, I mean, they're not bad, but no objective control and no ability to fall back. It isn't huge.
Right.
But the Black Rage ability and the Feel No Pain 5-up they get, it's huge.
Right.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is there anything with mine that you think you would change up? Is there something that you'd be like, oh, I don't really understand how that would work?
Strategy. I feel like I'd shove the Redemptor a little closer.
Okay.
So that if something tries to piss it off, let's say, you're in line, there's a whole bunch of termagants at the objective across.
Right.
They try and shoot at you. Oh, wait, you're a Redemptor Dreadnought. You take no damage because that rule, or you take one less damage.
Right.
All the weak little infantry, nothing. Which is what you need.
Right. And that's why I was thinking you could put him on the back objective, give him like that plasma incinerator for the extra range, the little extra punch there. And then it's going to be hard for anybody to come up and really try to tap into him.
I think it's a little better when you play missions where the back objective is more important.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously, depending on the mission that you're playing is going to change your strategy a little bit. But I really just trying to think of a basic 5-point objective. You know, you got one in yours, one in the opponent's, 3 in the middle. You know, let's fight over the 3 in the middle, but I'm going to make sure that I keep mine.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, the only thing... what would you change about mine?
I mean, I think you have a good plan, too, because you have a lot of infantry. I would kind of like to put at least something heavy in there.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I think that's missing. I mean, even if you took, like... instead of putting both the Intercessors and the Infernus Marines, I think I probably would have taken just one of them.
I mean...
put some kind of tanky thing in there.
Yeah, I mean...
whether it be a Dreadnought or an actual tank.
I mean, I kind of thought of, when I was thinking of it, of the 2 recent games that I've played, I always thought, oh, there's 2 objectives kind of close to home.
Right.
And there's 2 kind of far from home. So I'm thinking you need 2 to put the Intercessors there. I probably could have chopped the Intercessors, put in something heavy, like a tank.
Right.
Probably a cheaper tank. Well, then, what? Because I have like 45 remaining, like they're 80 points. I could probably put the Baal Predator instead.
Yeah.
Or, no. That's too expensive. I don't know.
That's okay. So, all right. So that's the Blood Angels. I think we've come up with a decent plan to protect Baal. How about our invasion force? How about the Tyranids? What do you think about that?
No. I think...
go ahead. I just wanted to remind everybody what is in the Tyranid Combat Patrol. And of course, this is mostly stuff that came right straight out of the Leviathan box, if you had that. If not, the Combat Patrol is perfectly usable. So that's 1 Winged Tyranid Prime.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Psychophage, which is the newer bug for 10th edition, the one with the smokestacks coming out of its back.
A monster creature.
Right. There's 20 Termagants in there, 5 Barbagants, and 3 of the Von Ryan Leapers. So, what do you think you would do? What would you add to your Tyranid army?
So, over it.
Sorry, one more thing. I did want to note that this is actually one of the cheapest combat patrols that are out there. it only rolls out at about 405 points. So you actually have a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. Though it does kind of suck because you have to buy a lot more.
Correct.
So, my one character is the Winged Tyranid Prime.
Okay.
Let's go to the battle line. Battle line will fix it. So, I put 2 squads of Termagants, a squad of Hormagants, because I like the Hormagants. Last battle I did with them, I liked them. They did pretty good, but I should have used them differently. And a squad of 10 Gargoyles. Why? Because I hear they're pretty good. And they move fast, they fly around, and they pew!
Okay.
So, for the other data sheets, you have the 5 Barbagans. I put in a Biovore. He's pretty good. I think he has, 5 wounds?
I think that's accurate.
And he sits in objective, and he shoots. Or he creates spore mines.
And he's got a pretty decent range, like 48 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has indirect fire.
He does have indirect fire. And I believe he's also... So even if there isn't something in his targeting range, you can still shoot a spore mine.
Yeah. Then I put the Neurolictor. I love the Neurolictor. He was so good. In my one battle, he sat there, held an objective, and he didn't get shot at until they had to run into his range.
So what makes the Neurolictor so good, in your opinion?
I think it's his lone operative ability mixed with his own special abilities. See, his special ability is when you're within 12 inches, his lone operative range. Effectively, he makes you take a battle shock test, and if you're battle shocked, you kinda suck. Like, if something shoots at you, I think they get a +1 to wound, +1 to hit.
Right.
It's looking grim for you, let's just say.
Okay.
Also, he has infiltrators, so you can set him up and just run forward.
And he also has stealth, right?
Correct, he has stealth.
So...
Which, I mean, wasn't helpful when the Thousand Suns put a flamer in his face.
No, but, I mean, realistically, the good part about him is you have to get within 12 inches to shoot him. And even if you are within 12 inches to shoot him, you still have a -1 to hit him. And then,
if you don't kill him, battle shock test. If you fail, you're dead. Well, you're not dead, but
he's gonna be in your face.
Yeah.
Alright, so what else you got on there?
The Psychophage just comes from the box. The Trigon. Put the Trigon in. I love the Trigon. I got him, 8th, 9th edition?
I think 8th edition, yeah.
Whichever edition, I got that starter set. I've got him, turned him into a Trigon Prime, and I've loved him since.
Yep.
He can deep strike, run forward, and he deals massive amounts of damage against giant things. And the only disappointing bit is his only ability is, instead of deep striking and being 9 inches away, you can deep strike and be 6 inches away. But you can't charge.
But you can still shoot.
Yeah.
I know you can't charge.
He's not great at shooting, though.
No.
But I like to deep strike him and then rush him forward.
Right.
Of that, then this is kind of where it gets a little iffy. I put melee Tyranid Warriors.
Okay.
I don't have them personally, but they kind of seem good. It's a squad of 3 melee guys that just run forward.
And their whole deal is they're just a lot of attacks in close combat.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put them with the winged, and you got a good deal. Or you could put the winged Hive Tyrant with the gargoyles. That's your pick.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
The Von Ryan Leapers that they come with, and Zoanthropes, I kind of like how they just shoot stuff and kill it. And if you're close by them, you get like a plus. I think you get a 5-up invul. Or no, 5-up feel no. 6-up invulnerable.
They have a 4-up invulnerable, don't they?
No, they give a 6-up invulnerable save.
Oh, like an aura.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't even realize that. I mean, not a great aura, but an aura nonetheless.
I mean, it could always be helpful for, like, I mean, anything. Take, like, Termagants with only a 5-up save. They get shot with an AP -2, they actually get a chance.
So you definitely went with the big creatures in this one. This was you added a couple little guys. I noticed the gargoyles for a little bit of variety. The Hormigans because they're fast and melee.
Oh yeah, with their 10-inch move and their advance, being able to advance and charge, they're great. They move 10-inch, they can move up to a D6 further, and then 2D6 further.
Right.
Who wouldn't like that?
It's fair. All right. So that sounds like a pretty solid list. I actually went a completely different direction. I went with the box set, as I said before, the Winged Tyranid Prime, the Psychophage, the 20 Termagants, the 5 Barbagants, and the 3 Von Ryan Leapers. And I decided to go completely wacky because I thought if I'm going to play Tyranids, I'm going to want everything that I'm going to want in this first 10,000, in this first 1,000 points. 10,000 points. First 1,000
That's a lot of points.
First 1,000 points. So what I did is I would just go out and buy a second box. Okay? So you got, they're 405 points right now. Like $175, 180, whatever it is. But just the amount of stuff that you get in that box is so strong. And you will almost immediately outnumber anybody you're fighting against. Because with that second box, you now have 2 Winged Tyranid Primes. You have 2 Psychophages. You have 40 Termagants. And then you have 10 Barbagants, which I would just combine them into one squad. And same with the Von Ryan Leapers. Just take all 6 of them and combine them into one squad.
And with their Infiltrator, they can... Yeah. They have Infiltrator, which is good. I think they have Stealth, too.
I think they do, too.
They don't have Lone Operative. They do have Fight First.
They do have Fight First, which is really good. So even if you charge them, they still get to fight first. Now, what I did was instead of leaning into bigger things, I actually leaned more into what am I going to do with those 2 Tyranid Primes. So I actually picked up a 10-man squad of gargoyles. So you can take one of your Winged Tyranid Primes and put them with the gargoyles. Now you have a fast-moving character with 10 guys that are floating around him. And then my last 75 points that I had, I picked up 3 Tyranid Warriors with melee weapons. And that would go with the other Winged Tyranid Prime. And we're keeping Logan up. I know it's very late. So that would be my options. That's really the direction I would go. And now at 1,000 points, you have, what is that? 50, 67, almost 75 models. So I really leaned into the swarm end of the Tyranids instead of going with some big creatures.
I mean, ironically, I play both of my armies how you'd expect the other one to play.
Yeah, you have a lot of infantry in your Space Marines and a lot of big things. I mean, Tyranids are all about the big tanky things sometimes, so that's
true.
That's exactly what you get.
I mean, I've always taken an interest in them, so I have a ton.
Right.
I've been like, oh, I like big thing. Big thing cool, big thing kill. I like big thing. And which is probably why I now really like the Psychophage after trying him out and killing some dusty guys.
Yep. All right. So what do you think of the lists? All four are pretty good, I think. I think they're all pretty solid. I think anybody could play any of these lists.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was going to say, I think mine might need a little tweaking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the nice thing about Crusades is as you play, you get more points. And as you get more points, the battles get bigger, and you can add more stuff to your Crusade forces.
I mean, I think the neat thing is, if you get like 105 points, you can put in the Neuro Tyrant. I like him.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He goes really well with the Zoanthropes.
Yeah. I mean, also, the Synapse is always going to be good.
Right.
Though at some point, you might want to put in a Hive Tyrant.
It's a good possibility. I mean, at that point from there, I mean, I don't want to dictate what anybody wants to play. No. But these are clearly just suggestions of how can we what's the easiest way to go from that combat patrol? Because we all know Warhammer's a little bit expensive to get into, but once you're in, I mean, it eases in a little bit. You're going to buy models, you're going to paint them, you're going to play with them, and then you're going to want more. I mean, it's just a matter of time. But, that 1,000-point mark where you can play Crusade, you can get it with your friends, you can start building those stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best part about the game, because sometimes, we're D&D players, Warhammer players. We sometimes like the stories, what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you said you played D&D where?
Lakeland Legends.
And where do you find that?
On YouTube.
And is that it? Just on YouTube?
We also Twitch stream.
Right.
Now, I would tell you a schedule, but it's kind of fallen.
Yeah. But when does a new episode of Lakeland Legends come out?
Drops every Thursday.
Okay. On YouTube.
Yes.
Look it up, Lakeland Legends. And you can also find me. I'm also on Lakeland Legends. It's me and Logan and Michael. And we're always doing some kind of D&D thing. We have played a couple Warhammer games, so it's worth checking out.
I think we've just done the Combat Patrol.
Well, probably. I know we've talked about Warhammer before.
Definitely.
You guys built your ships on one of the episodes. You built your gunship. I forget what Michael built at that time.
It's probably some Necro on our Tau thing. Oh,
I'm sure it was some Necro on our Tau thing. That's all he does. So there's been a little bit of Warhammer. We also play board games from time to time. Not in a while though. We've been really into the D&D.
Yeah, I mean we kind of stopped that once my campaign started rolling around.
True. And then you can also find me on Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy with Todd and Ken. We come out once a month. We're going to try about first of the month. With any luck, you can watch us in about an hour or so. But if not, you can listen to us on podcast that comes out on the first of the month, and on YouTube. And of course, this episode comes out every Tuesday. Or you can watch us on Twitch every Thursday. Yep, we're always doing something, either the podcast or we're playing games or painting, or we kind of switch it up a little bit. Last time you and I painted together.
Yeah. Well, that was a week ago.
That was a week ago. Huh. It was almost like last Thursday.
It's been quite a quick week.
It has been a quick week. So, check us out. Like, subscribe.
Hit that notification bell. And most importantly, leave a comment. If there's anything you want to hear. If there's any faction that you want us to do a combat patrol to Crusade next, put it in the comments. We'll work it in. I have a couple more people that I'm going to bring on, and we're going to do a couple more of these things. Not everybody's going to be in person, but we're definitely going to get more people on.
Michael's even going to come on and do Tau and Necrons, but I would expect that not to be the next week. So,
Xenos.
So thanks for watching. And again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, rate us on your podcasts. You can get us on any podcatcher app that's out there that I know of. I've pretty much signed up for everything. So listen to us. And here at Table Ready Podcast, we want to make you and your models
Table ready.
table ready. Thanks for watching.
Bye.